Sound good? All right, you got it? All right, very good. All right, now we're going to study.
All right. All the parents is Rabbi study. Grandparents to Rabbi study. All the grandparents.
So you know there's going to be Rabbi Kozlowski. If you could communicate with her, that'd be great.
Okay. So this is the old.
Yeah.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
I know. Should I let people in?
Now you can let people in.
Pray for us. Pray for me.
All of it. Monday night, right? We're having a
Sure, why not?
night.
I don't know. I'm out of here.
Can I take a quick look at these?
What?
Do you know which one? I thought it was only 2 days of this.
It's the book,
And then a Kiddush cup.
a book, a Kiddush cup, and a tzedakah box. I think the tzedakah box is the smaller box, but it doesn't matter. Because only one time have I been up here where the bar mitzvah has started to unwrap while the person is presenting the gifts. So I wouldn't worry about it.
That's hilarious. Thank you for taking that.
You're welcome, sir.
Never got this quiet before without B'nai Mitzvah in the room. It's a little, are they coming? Yes, they'll be here. We're running a little behind. Got a little nuts in pictures. But I never said it and I'll deny it. Everybody have a blue prayer book? Okay. You'll read with us, right? Ta-da!
Well, Chag Sameach and Shabbat Shalom, everyone. It is so good to be together as Eli and Ethan ascend as they reach their sort of full potential and beauty and light that is cast upon this congregation. I don't know whether you had the opportunity to look into the night sky last night. If you did, you would have seen that the moon was full. And that is something that is significant. In that even in the darkest moments, even in our darkest night sky, we know that when young people ascend, when they take on adult responsibilities, when they are able to grab hold of their heritage and their community, it's like seeing a light in the night sky. And that is something that we are grateful for. Certainly to the Arnold and the Parrish family for raising such extraordinary gentlemen. We are going to begin our service with the singing of Ma Tovu. Beginning our service with the singing of Ma Tovu, which can be found in your blue Sidurim, your blue Sidur, that blue prayer book that you might have in front of you. That can be found on page 74. Page 74.
Ma Tovu, Ma Tovu, Ohalecha Yaakov, Mishkenotecha Yisrael, Ma Tovu, Ma Tovu, Ohalecha Yaakov, Mishkenotecha Yisrael, Va'ani berov chastecha, Ahavo beitecha, Eshtacha ve'elecha l'kodshecha, Be'yiratecha, Ma tovu, Ma tovu, Ohalecha Yaakov, Mishkenotecha Yisrael, Adonai ahavti, me'ol beitecha, u'mekom mishkan kevodecha, Mishkan kevodecha, va'ani eshtachaveh, ve'efra'a, evrecha lifnei Adonai. Oh, see, let's all sing Ma Tovu together. Ma Tovu, yeah. Ma Tovu, Ohalecha Yaakov, Mishkenotecha Yisrael, Va'ani tefilati lecha, Adonai et ratzon, Elohim berov chasdecha, Elohim berov chasdecha, Aneni be'emet yishecha, Ma tovu, Ma tovu, Ma tovu, Ohalecha Yaakov, בנותיך ישראל.
Moments ago, an ancient and beautiful tradition took place where Ethan and Eli had the talit of tradition, these beautiful prayer shawls that you see them wearing that have been so beautifully created by grandmothers, placed on their shoulders by their parents and grandparents. And it's a reminder of all of the values that have been so lovingly passed from generation to generation, carried on the shoulders of your ancestors, up to this very moment where they've been placed on yours. And in our Siddur, on page 88, there's a text that reminds us that when we fulfill certain obligations and take on new adult responsibilities, there's not only a reward in that it brings sustenance and goodness to others, but there is an intrinsic goodness to them that is in itself rewarding. It's a joy now to call upon Eli and Ethan to come forward to the bima, and where Eli is going to lead us in the obligations without measure, whose reward too is without measure.
These are things that are limitless, of which a person enjoys the fruit of the world, while the principle remains in the world to come. They are honoring one's father and mother, engaging in deeds of compassion, arriving early for study, morning and evening, dealing graciously with guests, visiting the sick, providing for the wedding couple, accompanying the dead for burial, being devoted in prayer, and making peace among people. But the study of Torah encompasses them all.
Because it leads to them all. We are now going to continue on page 106, where Ethan and Eli are going to lead us all. Please join them in the singing of the Chatzi Kaddish, page 106.
Yitgadal v'yitgadash shmei Rabbah.
Amen.
B'ma divrach yotei v'yamlif malchutei. B'chayechon u'yomechon u'chayed l'chol beit Yisrael. Bagala u'bizman karib v'yimeru amen. Yehei shmei Rabbah mevorach le'olam le'olmei almaya yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitroman v'yinaseh v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shmei tikudashah brichu le'olam min kol birchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechemata damiran yelma v'yimeru amen.
We now rise as we turn to the call to worship, which can be found on page 108.
Baruchu et Adonai hamevorach. Baruch Adonai hamevorach le'olam va'ed.
We continue now on page 110.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech ha'olam, yotzer or uvarei choshe, osei shalom uvarei et hakol, hameir la'aretz, v'ladarim alaha barachamim, uvtuvo mechadesh b'chol yom tamid ma'aseh v'reishit, ma rabu ma'asecha, Adonai kulam b'chochma asita, ma la ha'aretz kinyanecha.
Titbarach Adonai Eloheinu, al shavach maseh yadecha, ve'al meorei or she'asita, yafa'ar ruach, or chadash al Zion ta'ir v'nizche, chulanu mehera le'oro. Baruch atah Adonai, yotzer hamorot.
On page 112, we find a prayer that reminds us of all the love that God holds for each and every one of us. And we can experience God's love. I certainly think our ancestors did through the changing of the seasons and through the harvest, through being able to have wonderful festivals like Sukkot that we're celebrating today. But also we can experience God's love through looking into the faces of our loved ones, friends, family, community who are here, and seeing the love and pride that's reflected in their eyes. So Eli and Ethan, as you look out into the congregation and see your community surrounding you with love, when you look into their eyes and see the pride that they hold for each and every one of each of you, then you know that God is with you, and that God is certainly a place in which we can find love. So we turn to page 112 and we read, How deeply.
How deeply you have loved us, Adonai, our God, gracing us with surpassing compassion, on account of our forebears who trust led you to teach them the laws of life. Be gracious to us, teaching us as well. O merciful one, have mercy on us, by making us able to understand and discern, to heed, learn, and teach, and lovingly to observe, perform, and fulfill all that is in your Torah. Enlighten our eyes with your Torah, focus our minds on your mitzvot, unite our hearts in love and reverence for your name. Then we will never feel shame, never deserve rebuke, and never stumble. Having trusted in your great and awesome holiness, we shall celebrate your salvation with joy.
We read together.
Gather us in peace from the four corners of the earth, and lead us upright to our land. For you, O God, work wonders. You chose us. Truly you drew us near to your great name, that we might acknowledge you, declaring you one in love. Praise to you, Adonai, who chooses your people Israel in love. Baruch atah Adonai, habocher ba'amo Yisrael ba'ahava.
We turn now to the watchword of our faith, the Shema, on page 114.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Hear, O Israel, Adonai is our God, Adonai is one. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Leolam Va'ed. Blessed is God's glorious majesty forever and ever.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Leolam Va'ed.
You may be seated. We continue with Ve'ahavta on page 116.
Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha bechol levacha ubechol nafshecha ubechol meodecha ve'hayu hadvarim ha'ele asher anochi mitzavecha hayom al levavecha v'shinantam levanecha v'dibarta bam v'shivtecha b'veitecha uvlechtecha v'aderech Ushokbecha ukumecha ukshartam leot al yadecha v'hayu letotafot b'neinecha uchtavtam al mizuzot beitecha uvisharecha leman tizkeru v'asitem et kol mitzvotai v'yitem kedoshim lelohechem ani Adonai Elohechem, Asher hotzeiti etchem, me'eretz Mitzrayim, liot lachem le'elohim, ani Adonai Elohechem.
You shall love Adonai your God with all your heart, with all your soul, and with all your might. Take to heart these instructions with which I charge you this day. Impress them upon your children. Recite them when you stay at home and when you are away, when you lie down and when you get up. Bind them as a sign on your hand and let them serve as a symbol on your forehead. Inscribe them on the doorposts of your house and on your gates.
Thus you shall remember to observe all my commandments and to be holy to your God. I am Adonai, your God, who brought you out of the land of Egypt to be your God. I am Adonai, your God.
Adonai
Elohechem Emet.
We continue now in our Siddur on page 121 as we read responsively.
The eternal truth is that you are alone, our God, and there is none else.
May the
righteous of all nations rejoice in your love and exalt in your justice. Let them beat their swords into plowshares and their spears into pruning hooks. Let the nation not lift up sword against nation, not learn anymore. You shall not hate your brother or your sister in your heart. The stranger that sojourns with you shall be accepted as your equal, for you were strangers in the land of Egypt. Why do you crush my people and oppress the poor? Asked God. We know that the Eternal One defends the poor and upholds the rights of the needy. Praise to God Most High. Blessed is God and deserving of blessing.
We continue now on page 122 with Micha Mocha.
מי כמוך באלים אדוני, מי כמוך נדר בקודש, נורא תהילות אוסף אלה. שירה חדשה שיבחו גאולים, לשמחה על שפת הים, יחד כולם הודו והמליכו ואמרו, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד. צור ישראל, קומה בעזרת ישראל, ופדי חינומך יהודה וישראל. גואלנו אדוני צבאות שמו, קדוש ישראל, ברוך אתה אדוני גאל ישראל.
We now rise together as one community as we turn to the tefillah, which can be found on page 124.
Adonai sifatar tiftach ufi yagi tehilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu ve'Elohei Avotenu v'imotenu, Elohei Abraham, Elohei Yitzchak, ve'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, ve'Elohei Leah. Ha'el Hagadol Hagibor v'Chanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, V'konei HaKol, V'zocher Chastei Avot V'imaot, Umevi Gilula Livnei B'neichem, L'man Shemo Be'ahava, Melech Ozer U'Moshia U'Magen, Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham Ve'ezrat Sarah. Atah Gibor Le'olam Adonai, Mechayeh HaKol Atah Rav Le'oshia, Mechalkel Chayim Bechesed, Mechayeh HaKol Berachamim Rabim, Somech Noflim Ve'rofei Cholim, Umatir Asurim, Unkayem Emunato Lishenei Afar. Micha Mocha Baal Gevurot, Umido Melach, Melech Memid, Umchaye, Umatzmiach Yeshua, V'ne'eman Atalach Hayot HaKol, Baruch atah Adonai, Mechayeh HaKol.
We continue now reading responsively on page 129.
You are the door that beckons me in. Peeking around the doorframe, I begin to enter into your glory. You move me forward, O Eternal, to step beyond self-made boundaries. Lift my foot over the threshold that I might abide with you. In the house of the Eternal, I found my questions waiting to be posed. They filled me with wonder. Sit with me, eternal teacher, encourage my seeking. As I fill my hours with your mitzvot, so shall I be filled. Send me through your door, stretching up to honor your name, sharing out with this wonder, enriching myself in the giving. Baruch atah Adonai, notei avotenu chaye olam.
וקדש את שמך בעולם, כשם שמקדישים אותו בשמי מרום, ככתוב על יד נביאך, וקרא זה אל זה ואמר, קדוש, 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 אדוני צבאות, מלוך כל הארץ, כבודו. אדיר אדירנו אדוני אדוננו, מה אדיר שמך בכל הארץ, ברוך כבוד אדוני ממקומו. אחד הוא אלוהינו, הוא אבינו, הוא מלכנו, והוא ישמיענו ברחמיו לעיני כל חי. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, ימלוך אדוני לעולם, אלוהיך ציון לדור ודור. הללויה. לדור ודור נגיד גודלך, ולנצח נצחים קדושתך נקדיש, ושבחך אלוהינו מפינו לא ימוש לעולם ועד. ברוך אתה אדוני האל הקדוש.
You may be seated. We are a people in whom the past endures, in whom the present is inconceivable without moments gone by. The Exodus lasted a moment enduring forever. What happened once upon a time happens all the time. We continue with Yismechu on page 132.
ישמחו במלכותך, שומרי 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 שבת וקורא עונג שבת. ישמחו במלכותך, שומרי 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 שבת וקורא עונג שבת. מקדשי שבי שבת, כולם ישבעו ויתענגו מטובך שבת. ישמחו במלכותך, שומרי 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 שבת וקורא עונג שבת. ישמחו במלכותך, שומרי 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 שבת וקורא עונג שבת. ובשביעי רצית בו וקידשתו שבת. חמדת ימים אותו קראת, זכר למעשה בראשית שבת. ישמחו במלכותך, שומרי 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 שבת וקורא עונג שבת. ישמחו במלכותך, שומרי 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 שבת וקורא עונג שבת.
We continue on page 135 responsively. We offer thanks, O God, for this Shabbat which unites us in faith and hope, for Shabbat holiness which inspires sacred living, for Shabbat memories glowing even in darkness, for Shabbat peace born of friendship and love. We offer thanks and blessing, O God. Baruch Atah Adonai Mekadesh HaShabbat. We continue with the insert for Sukkot on page 137. We'll read together in the middle of the page. Our God and God of our fathers and mothers, on this day of Sukkot, be mindful of us and all your people Israel, for good, for love, for compassion, life, and peace. Remember us for well-being.
Amen.
Visit us with blessing.
Amen.
Help us to a fuller life.
Amen.
We continue with Ritzeh on page 137.
Ritzei Adonai Eloheinu be'amcha Yisrael u'tefilatam be'ahava tekabel u'tehil ratzon tamid avodat Yisrael amecha Baruch atah Adonai she'otecha levadecha b'yira na'avu.
We turn to page 139. There is much for us to be grateful for this Shabbat. We might be grateful for the sun outside and the warmer temperatures, and we might be grateful for Cantor's beautiful voice leading us in prayer this morning, and we should certainly be grateful for these two young men behind me who are leading us in a wonderful service this Shabbat morning and becoming bar mitzvah, b'nai mitzvah. And for all of those and more, we have to be grateful. We'll continue responsively on page 139. We'll read and then we'll read together Modim Anachnu Lach after each paragraph. For the expanding grandeur of creation, worlds known and unknown, galaxies beyond galaxies, filling us with awe and challenging our imaginations. Modim Anachnu Lach. For this fragile planet Earth, its times and tides, its sunsets and seasons. Modim Anachnu Lach. For the joy of human life, its wonders and surprises, its hopes and achievements. Modim Anachnu Lach. For human community, our common past and future hope, our oneness transcending all separation, our capacity to work for peace and justice in the midst of hostility and oppression. Anachnu Lach. For high hopes and noble causes, for faith without fanaticism, for understanding of views not shared. Modim Anachnu Lach. For all who have labored and suffered for a fairer world, who have lived so that others might live in dignity and freedom. Modim Anachnu Lach. For human liberties and sacred rights, for opportunities to change and grow, to affirm and choose. Modim Anachnu Lach. We pray that we may live not by our fears, but by our hopes, not by our words, but by our deeds. Blessed are you, Adonai, your name is goodness, and you are worthy of thanksgiving. Baruch atah Adonai, hatov shimcha ulecha na'eh lehodot. We turn to page 140 for our prayer for peace, Sim Shalom.
Sim Shalom. Tova uvracha, chen v'chesed, v'rachamim aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael amecha. Barucheinu yotzreinu, Barucheinu yotzreinu, kulanu ke'echad be'or panecha, ki be'or panecha Natata lanu Adonai Eloheinu Torot chaim ve'ahavat chesed u'tzedaka uveracha verachamim ve'chaim V'shalom v'tov בעיניך. לברך את עמך ישראל בכל עת ובכל שעה בשלומך. ברוך אתה אדוני המברך את עמו ישראל בשלום.
With those words of peace echoing in our minds, we take a moment for the prayers that are in your heart.
We sing as one. עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל, ואמרו אמן. יעשה שלום, יעשה שלום, שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל. יעשה שלום, יעשה שלום, שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל. יעשה שלום, יעשה שלום, שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל. יעשה שלום, יעשה שלום, שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל. יעשה שלום, יעשה שלום, שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל.
Well, Shabbat Shalom and Chag Sameach, everyone. It is so good to be together to celebrate these moments of joy. And it's a moment of joy. We say, Moadim L'Simcha. May you be increasing joy as we approach this festival of Sukkot, as we're in the midst of it. And there are special traditions that we do. In the Torah, the book of Leviticus, on chapter 23, verse 40, it commands us, it says, "And you shall take on the first day the fruit of splendid trees, branches of palm trees, and the boughs of leafy trees, and willows of the brook. And you shall rejoice before the Lord your God for 7 days." This mitzvah, this commandment, forms the foundation of the ritual of waving the lulav and etrog on Sukkot. And these distinct elements, representing various facets of nature, come together to symbolize unity and harmony. The lulav, a bound bundle of palm, willow, and myrtle branches, together with the etrog, a citrus fruit, remind us of the importance of appreciating diversity. And just as each component has its individual essence, yet contributes to the whole, so too are we encouraged to celebrate our individual strengths while recognizing the strength that arises from our unity. And as we engage in this age-old tradition, let it inspire us to value the bonds that tie us together, fostering a sense of cohesion in our communities and in the broader tapestry of life. We are going to turn to Hallel now. I'm going to invite Eli and Ethan to step forward as they are going to have the honor of waving the lulav and etrog with me. You can find that in your siddur on page 266. Page 266, and as they take up the lulav and etrog, we're going to say the blessing for the lulav and etrog together. Let's al nitilat lulav. So Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu Melech Haolam Asher Kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu al netilat lulav. We rise now together as we turn to Hallel on page 266.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu likro et hahallel. Praise Adonai, all you nations, extol God, all you peoples, for great is God's steadfast love toward us. The faithfulness of Adonai endures forever. Hodu la Adonai ki tov ki leolam chasdo Yomar na Yisrael ki leolam chasdo Yomar na Beit Aharon ki leolam chasdo Yomar na Yirei Adonai ki leolam chasdo Baruch haba b'shem Adonai berachnuchem mi Beit Adonai Eliata ve'odecha Elohai aromemecha Hodu l'Adonai ki tov ki leolam chasdo.
We turn now to our Torah service, Seder Kriyat Torah, which can be found on page 244. And Eli and Ethan know that the centerpiece of our Shabbat and festival service is when we take the Torah scrolls from the ark and carry it as they will do around the congregation. It's a symbol that the Torah and all of its beautiful values are not simply something that we keep up here for the officiants, but Torah belongs to all of us. And so it is a great joy to be able to turn to that page to 244 and also to call up our ark openers, to call forward Ayla and Evan and Abby, Lily and Drew and Emma to step forward, and also to call upon dear grandparents and parents and siblings, to call upon Marcia and Ray Miller, Ron and Wendy Arnold, John and Jan Holtz, Todd and Shelley Parrish, Brent Kelly and Noah Arnold, Greg, Jessica and Emma Parrish, and of course we call forward Eli and Ethan. We once again return to page 244 as we open our ark doors.
Ein kamocha va'Elohim Adonai ve'ein kema'asecha malchutecha malchut kol olamim u'memshaltecha bechol dor v'ador Adonai melech Adonai malach Adonai yimloch leolam va'ed Adonai oz le'amo yitein Adonai yevarech et amo v'shalom Ki mitzion tetzei Torah Ki mitzion tetzei Torah Udevar Adonai mirushalayim Baruch shenatan Torah Torah Baruch shenatan Torah Torah le'amo Yisrael bikedushato.
Eli and Ethan, Zot HaTorah, as you well know, this is the Torah, and found within it are all of the values that have been raised high by your family for generations, the values of being kind and generous of spirit, by being leaders and taking initiative and grabbing life with both hands. It is a joy now to pass this Torah from the generation of your grandparents to the generation of your parents. And now this Torah is being passed to you where it should remain on your shoulders with good health and much happiness. We all turn to the congregation as we recite the watchword of our faith, the Shema. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Hear, O Israel, Adonai is our God, Adonai is one.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Echad Eloheinu, Gadol Adonenu, Kadosh Shemo. Gadlul Adonai iti, uneromema Shemo yakdav. Vecha Adonai hagidula, v'hagevura, v'hatiferet, v'hanetzach, v'hachol. Kicho b'shamayim uvaret, Kicho b'shamayim uvaret. Lecha Adonai hamamlacha, v'hamitnaseh lechol lechol. Lo yisagoy el goy cherem, lo yilmedu od milchama. Lo yisagoy el goy cherem, lo yilmedu od milchama. Lo yisagoy el goy cherem, lo yilmedu od milchama. Lo yisagoy el goy cherem, lo yilmedu od milchama. Lo yisagoy el goy cherem, lo yilmedu od milchama. Lo yisagoy el goy cherem, lo yilmedu od milchama. Lo yisagoy el goy cherem, lo yilmedu od milchama. Lo yisagoy el goy cherem, lo yilmedu od milchama. La 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 la. 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 Lo yisagoy el goy cherem, lo yilmedu od milchama. Lo yisagoy el goy cherem, lo yilmedu od milchama. Heveinu shalom alechem, Heveinu shalom alechem, Heveinu shalom alechem, Heveinu shalom 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 alechem, Heveinu shalom alechem, Heveinu shalom alechem, Heveinu shalom alechem, Heveinu shalom 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 alechem, Heveinu shalom alechem, alechem Heveinu shalom, Heveinu shalom alechem, alechem Heveinu shalom. Yeinei ma tov u'manayim shevet achim gam yachad
You may be seated. It's a meaningful moment to come to Torah. And if you are a young person here, somebody that is maybe in Ethan and Eli's cohort that may never have seen a Torah before, we'd like to invite you up here onto the bima so that you can take a look at what Eli and Ethan are going to be reading from. So don't be shy. Come on up for just a minute, all of Eli and Ethan's friends who might not have seen a Torah scroll before. I'm going to teach you a little bit about it. So come on up, gather around the Torah. You know, it's meaningful that all of you are here and that you have the opportunity to look at this Torah. Because this is actually a beautiful moment, because I want to tell you about the history of this Torah scroll. So it's meaningful that Eli and Ethan are going to be reading from one of two Holocaust scrolls that we have here at Congregation Shalom. And this one is over 125 years old and comes from Poland. It's a beautifully written Torah scroll. And as all Torah scrolls and the lessons that reside within it, this Torah scroll was much loved by the community that would read from it and study from it and absorb its wisdom. And there was one man who was a part of that group that met every Shabbos to worship and study from it and found much fulfillment and learning in God's Word. And he loved this Torah scroll. And so it happened that just as the Germans were entering into Poland to occupy the country, that he hid this Torah scroll away, because he knew that when the Nazis would come to his village, that they would take all of the Jews there to concentration camps or death camps. So he hid it. And sure enough, that man and his community was taken to Auschwitz-Birkenau, where life expectancy was just a matter of days. But he managed to survive there until the end of the hostilities. And when the camp was liberated, he went back to the town in which he had hidden the Torah scroll, and he took this Torah to a very small surviving remnant of what had been a once rich and vibrant Jewish community in Poland, but now was so diminished that it was tiny. And for a short amount of time, the people there continued to study and learn from its wisdom, right up until that community became so small because the Jews were moving to places with brighter shores, moving to Western Europe. They were moving to places like Israel and Canada and the United States. And so when that community became so small, they decided to send this Torah scroll to the United States. And the purpose of it being sent to the United States is that a Torah is meant to be used, especially by young people, so they can grow with a sense of spirituality and enable the spark of hope and liberty and freedom for all humanity to be kindled and continued. That's why we brought this Torah scroll to Milwaukee. And that means that when Ethan and Eli carry and read the Torah amidst our community, it represents not only the hard work that they've done and how they've been able to learn from the Torah, but it represents how every young person, no matter their religion, their race, their ethnicity, or nationality, can be a source of light unto the world, and no matter how much darkness we might see in it. So it's meaningful that all of you are standing side by side, Eli and Ethan, as they read from this Torah scroll, because the symbolism of unity and the symbolism of light amidst the darkness runs deep. And so we can invite you now to return to your seats. Thank you for coming up to take a look at the Torah scroll. And it's a joy now, as we are going to turn to our first Torah reader, who is Eli, in just one moment.
This morning we will be reading from Leviticus chapter 23, starting with verse 1. And the parasha is special to the first day of the holiday of Sukkot. This parasha goes over the three pilgrimage festivals of Passover, Shavuot, and Sukkot. We'll turn to the Torah blessings on page 250, and in the Hertz, which is the book that is blue with the white outline, it's on page 520.
So please do grab the Hertz Chumash if you have it in front of you. You can follow along on page 520. We're reading from Leviticus chapter 23, verse 4. Leviticus chapter 23, verse 4. And it's a joy now to call forward for our first Aliyah to Torah. Dear grandparents, Ya'amdu Miriam bat Avram v'Chana, v'Ruvain ben Label v'Gittel, v'Rachmiel ben Label v'Shindel Tzviah, v'Rachel b'Chaim v'Rizel. We call forward Marcia and Ray Miller, Ron and Wendy Arnold, and John and Jan Holtz.
Baruch et Adonai Hamvarach.
Baruch Adonai Ambarat Leolam Vaed.
Baruch Adonai Hamvarach Leolam Vaed. Baruch Adonai Hamvarach Leolam Vaed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech olam. Asher bachar banu mikol hamim. V'natan lanu Torah emet. Baruch atah Adonai Noten HaTorah.
Amen.
Eile Moadei Adonai Mikra'ei Kodesh Asher Tigra'u Otam B'Moadam B'Chodesh Harishon B'Arba'a Asar L'Chodesh Bein Harbaim Pesach L'Adonai Ubachamisha Asar Yom LaChodesh Hazeh Chag HaMatzot LaDonai Shivat Yamim Matzot Tochelu Bayom Harishon Mikra'ei Kodesh Asher Yeh Lachem Kol Melachet Avodah Lo Tasu V'Hikraftem Ishe LaDonai Shivat Yamim Bayom Hashavei Mikra Kodesh Kol Melachet Avodah Lo Tasu
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech olam. Asher natan lanu Torah emet. V'chai olam nota b'sochenu. Baruch atah Adonai Noten HaTorah.
Amen. Beautiful Aliyah. Now, if you'll come stand on my left side, it's a joy to call upon dear parents and brother to step forward, to call forward Brent and Kelly and Noah Arnold. Ya'amdu Reuven ben Rachmiel ben Miriam, v'Mira bat Avraham v'Sara, v'Noach Avraham ben Reuven v'Mira.
Baruch et Adonai Hamvarach.
Baruch Adonai Ambarat Leolam Vaed.
Baruch Adonai Hamvarach Leolam Vaed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam. Asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim. V'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai Noten HaTorah.
Amen.
Vaydaber Adonai El Moshe Lemor Daber El Bnei Yisrael V'amarta Alehem Ki tavo'u El Haaretz Asher Ani Noten Lachem Ugetzartem Et Kitzira V'havetem Et Omer Reishit Kitzirchem El HaKohen V'heiniv et ha'omer lifnei Adonai l'rtzomchem mimocharat ha'shabbat yenifenu ha'kohen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan lanu Torah emet v'chayei olam nata b'tochenu. Baruch atah Adonai Noten HaTorah.
Amen.
Ya'amod, Ya'amod, Ya'amona, Bar Mitzvah, Ya'amod, Levi ben Reuven v'Mira, HaNechbad. It was great joy and great fanfare that we call forward Eli Matthew Arnold as he becomes Bar Mitzvah.
Baruch Hu et Adonai Hamvarach.
Baruch Adonai Barach Le'olam Va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Hamvarach Le'olam Va'ed. Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu Melech HaOlam Asher Bachar Banu Mikol Ha'amim V'natan Lanu et Torato. Baruch Atah Adonai Noten HaTorah. ועשיתם ביום הנבחם את העומר כבש תמים בן שנתו לעולה לאדוני ומנחתו שני עשרונים סולת בלולב השמן אישה לאדוני ריח מיכה ונזקו יין רביעית ההין ולחם וקלי וחרמל לא תאכלו עד עצם היום הזה עד הביאכם את קורבן אלוהיכם חוקת עולם לדורותיכם בכל מושבותיכם. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan lanu Torat emet v'chayei olam natan b'tochenu. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen. Yesher Koach, Eli. Everyone, if you want to wish Eli a Yesher Koach, that's how we acknowledge that he's done something really great. It means continue with strength. And we are so proud of you, Eli. You know that we're just studying a little Torah together. You know, you read the words Mikrei Kodesh, which means a sacred convocation, like a sacred gathering of people. And when you turn to your parents and you look out at this congregation, this is the family and friendships that your parents have cultivated and that you've cultivated too when you look at your friends. That is sacred. That's what we mean by holy. When we say the word kadosh, it means something that's separate from all the rest. And these people here who are with you, in a sense, they are separate because they are so special. They're warm, they've embraced you, they've watched you grow up, and now this is a moment in which you've made them filled with pride. And when you look at your brother and your mom and your dad and you see the pride and love in their eyes, you know that you have created a Mikrei Kodesh, a sacred convocation. Never stop doing it. You're a wonderful kid, Eli. Keep on growing and learning and bringing light to the world. Now we are going to make, I guess in baseball talk, a pitching change, because we're going to bring forward Ethan, as he is going to now be our Torah reader, and it's a joy to call forward dear grandparents, to call forward Todd and Shelley Parrish, Ron and Wendy Arnold, Marcia and Ray Miller, as they have the grandparents' aliyah. Ya'amdu Tuviyodov ben William Velilit V'Shifra Rachel bat Namit Ve'Aviran Ve'Rachmia ben Label V'Shindol Zavia Ve'Rachel b'Chaim Ve'Rizel Ve'Miriam bat Avram Ve'Chana Ruven ben Label Ve'Gitzel. We are going to shift now our focus as we turn to the section of Torah that specifically speaks about Sukkot. We will be reading from Leviticus chapter 23, verse 33. Leviticus chapter 23, verse 33.
Okay, go ahead. Baruch Hu et Adonai Hamvarach. Baruch Adonai Hamvarach Le'olam Va'ed. Baruch Adonai Hamvarach Le'olam Va'ed. Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim v'natan lanu et torto. Baruch Atah Adonai noten haTorah. Amen.
Vaydaber Adonai el Moshe lemor. Daber el bnei Yisrael lemor. B'chamisha asar yom lachodesh hashvi'i hazeh chag hasukot hoshafti Shivat Yamim Ladonai Bayom Harishon Mikra Kodesh Kol Molechet Avodah Lo Tasu.
Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan lanu Torah semes v'chayei olam nata b'sokenu. Baruch Atah Adonai noten haTorah. Amen.
Yesher Koach and Mazel Tov.
Yeah, again.
Stand on my left side now, and it's a joy to call upon dear parents Greg and Jessica Parrish. Ya'amdu Chaim ben Tuvia Dov Shifra Rachel v'Yaakov bat Rachmiel ben Miriam.
Baruch et Adonai Hamvorach.
Baruch Adonai Hamvorach le'olam va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Hamvorach le'olam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher barkanu mikol ha'amim v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten ha'torah.
Amen.
Shivat Yamim Takrivu Ishe Ladonai Bayom Hashmini Mikra Kodesh Yelachem V'hikravtem Ishe Ladonai Atzereti Komelechet Avodah Lo Tasu Eile Moadei Adonai Asher Tikru Otam Mikrae Kodesh Lagriv Ishe Ladonai Ola Umincha Zavach Unsachim Devar Yom Biemo Milvad Shabbatot Adonai Umilvad Matanotechem Umilvad Kol Nidrechem Umilvad Kol Nivotechem Asher Tichnu Ladonai Ach Bachamisha Asar Yom Lachodesh Hashvi Bas Bechem Tivuat Haaretz Tachogu et Chag Adonai Shivat Yamim Bayom Harishon Shabbaton Uvayom Hashmini Shabbaton
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan lanu Torah emet v'hayei olam nata b'tohenu. Baruch atah Adonai noten ha'torah.
Amen. Yesher koach. Ya'amod, Ya'amod ha'bar mitzvah, Ya'amod, Eitan Baruch ben Chaim ve'Yaakova, Hanechbad is with great joy and great fanfare that we call forward Ethan Henry Parrish as he becomes bar mitzvah.
Baruch et Adonai Hamvorach
Baruch Adonai Hamvorach le'olam va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Hamvorach le'olam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten ha'torah.
Amen.
Ulekachtem lachem bayom harishon Peri eitz hadar kapo tamarim v'anaf eitz avod v'arvei nachal usamachtem lifnei Adonai Elohechem shivat yamim v'chagotem oto chag l'Adonai shivat yamim bashana chukat olam l'dorotechem b'chodesh hashvi'i tachogu oto basukot teshvu Shivat Yamim Kol ha'ezrach b'Yisrael Yeshvu basukot Leman Yed'u dorotechem Ki basukot Hoshafti et b'nei Yisrael V'hotzi'i otam me'eretz Mitzrayim Ani Adonai Elohechem Vaydaber Moshe et Moadei Adonai El Bnei Yisrael. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan lanu Torat emet v'chayei olam nata b'tochenu. Baruch atah Adonai noten ha'torah.
Amen. Yesher koach. And Emma, you can come and stand with your mom and dad too. And Ethan, if you would turn and give your mom and dad and Emma a big hug and a kiss, you all deserve it. You know, these words, Mikra Kodesh, appear again in your Torah portion, but also Chag Ladonai, a festival to God. This idea of coming together, and when we honor the traditions that have been passed from generation to generation, it's like we're honoring those that came before us. I'm always interested in how the light moves in the sanctuary, and when we look up at the window, right above that beam of light, it says, Kaved et avicha ve'et imecha, honor thy father and thy mother. When you do such extraordinary things like come forward and having learned and been able to read from the Torah, to be able to share words of Torah as well, that's the way we honor from generation to generation. It's beautiful that you're wearing this talit that is a patchwork, right? Our lives are a patchwork of the people that bring us forward. Our parents, our grandparents, aunts and uncles and cousins, friends and family, that when you look out, each one has had a place in making the fabric of your life exceptionally beautiful. It's also Besherch that you were reading from Sukkot, the section on Sukkot, because when we think of the green lulav and the yellow etrog, and I know that you and Eli are particularly extraordinary Packer fans, we know that for whatever reason, it was Besherch that you would be reading on this day as you're celebrating both Sukkot and the Packers. So it is always good to join together and to be able to celebrate in life's moments. And so we are now going to call upon our Hagba. It's a joy to call upon Mitch Nellis as he's going to step forward and raise that Torah high. And also your sister Emma is going to have the honor of dressing the Torah. Ya'amdu hagmag bia v'hagolelet. Please rise now as the Torah is lifted and bound.
וזאת התורה אשר שם משה לפני בני ישראל על פי אדוני ביד משה. על שלושה דברים, על שלושה דברים, על שלושה דברים העולם אמן. על שלושה דברים, על שלושה דברים, על שלושה דברים העולם אמן. על התורה ועל העבודה ועל גמילות חסדים, על התורה ועל העבודה ועל גמילות חסדים. על שלושה דברים, על שלושה דברים, על שלושה דברים העולם אמן.
Please be seated, and now Eli is going to read the English translation of his Torah portion.
These are the set times of the eternal, the sacred occasions which you shall celebrate each at its appointed time. In the first month, on the 14th day of the month, at twilight, there shall be a Passover offering to the Eternal. And on the 15th day of that month, the Eternal's feast of unleavened bread, you shall eat unleavened bread for 7 days. On the first day you shall celebrate a sacred occasion. You shall not work at your occupation. 7 days you shall make offerings by fire to the Eternal. The 7th day shall be a sacred occasion. You shall not work at your occupations. The Eternal One spoke to Moses, saying, Speak to the Israelite people and say to them, When you enter the land that I am giving to you, and you reap its harvest, you shall bring the first sheaf of your harvest to the priest. He shall elevate the sheaf before the Eternal for acceptance in your behalf. The priest shall elevate it on the day after the Sabbath. On the day that you elevate the sheaf, you shall offer it as a burnt offering to the Eternal a lamb of the first year without blemish. The meal offering with it shall be 2/10 of a measure of choice flour with oil mixed in, an offering by fire of pleasing odor to the Eternal. And the libation with it shall be of wine, 1/4 of a hin, until that very day, until you have brought the offering of your God. You shall eat no bread or parched grain or fresh ears. It is a law for all time throughout the ages in all your settlements.
The Eternal One spoke to Moses, saying, Say to the Israelite people, On the 15th day of this 7th month, there shall be the Feast of Booths to the Eternal, to last 7 days. The first day shall be a sacred occasion. You shall not work at your occupations. 7 days you shall bring offerings by fire to the Eternal. On the 8th day you shall observe a sacred occasion and bring an offering by fire to the Eternal. It is a solemn gathering. You shall not work at your occupations. Those are the set times of the Eternal that you shall celebrate as sacred occasions, bringing offerings by fire to the Eternal, burnt offerings, meal offerings, sacrifices, and libations on each day what is proper to it, apart from the Sabbaths of the Eternal, and apart from your gifts, and from all of your votive offerings, and from all of your free will offerings that you give to the Eternal. Mark on the 15th day of the 7th month, when you have gathered in the yield of your land, you shall observe the festival of the Eternal to last 7 days, a complete rest on the first day and a complete rest on the 8th day. On the first day you shall take the product of hadar trees, branches of palm trees, boughs of leafy trees, and willows of the brook, and you shall rejoice before the Eternal your God 7 days. You shall observe it as a festival of the Eternal for 7 days in the year. You shall observe it in the 7th month as a law for all time throughout the ages. You shall live in booths 7 days. All citizens in Israel shall live in booths, in order that future generations may know that I made the Israelite people live in booths when I brought them out of the land of Egypt. I, the Eternal, your God. So Moses declared to the Israelites the set times of the Eternal.
We turn now to a second biblical reading that we do on Shabbat and on festivals, known as the Haftorah. And the Haftorah comes from a section of the Tanakh known as the prophets. And the prophets weren't foretellers predicting some future, rather they were forthtellers. With their words, with their actions, they wanted to push society to make it a more just and equitable and kind place to live for all people. It's the reason why it's meaningful that we hear these words out of our young people's mouths as they chant the words of Zechariah. The Haftorah for today can be found, it's special for Sukkot, can be found in the Hertz Chumash, the black and white book that you might have in front of you, on page 974, and we'll be reading from Zechariah chapter 14, verse 7.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bachar b'nviim tovim v'ratzah v'divreihem hana'emarim be'emet. Baruch atah Adonai habocher b'torah uv'Moshe avdo uv'Yisrael amo uv'inviei ha'emet v'tzedek.
Amen.
V'haya yom echad hu yivada l'Adonai lo yom v'lo layla v'haya le'et erev ye'or v'haya bayom hahu yetzu mayim hayim mirushalayim Chetyam el hayam hakadmoni v'chetyam el hayam ha'acharon b'kayit uv'achoref yeh. V'haya Adonai l'melech al kol ha'aretz bayom hahu yeh Adonai echad u'shema echad. V'haya kol hanotar mikol hagoyim haba'im al Yerushalayim ve'elu midei shana v'shana L'hishachavot l'melech Adonai Tzevaot v'lachog et Chag HaSukkot.
V'haya asher lo yaleh
מאת משפחות הארץ אל ירושלים, להשתחוות למלך אדוני צבאות, ולא עליהם יהיה הגשם. ואם משפחת מצרים לא תעלה, ולא עליהם תהיה המגפה, אשר יגוף אדוני את הגויים, אשר לא יעלו לחוג את חג הסוכות. זו תהיה חטאת מצרים וחטאת כל הגויים, אשר לא יעלו לחוג את חג הסוכות. ביום ההוא יהיה על מצילות הסוס קודש לאדוני, והיה הסירות בבית אדוני כמזרקים לפני המזבח, והיה כל סיר בירושלים וביהודה קודש לאדוני צבאות, ובאו כל הזובחים ולקחו מהם ובישלו בהם, ולא יהיה כנעני עוד בבית אדוני צבאות ביום ההוא. ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם, צור כל העולמים, צדיק בכל הדורות, האל הנאמן, האומר ועושה, המדבר ומקיים, שכל דבריו אמת וצדק, על התורה ועל העבודה ועל הנביאים ועל יום השבת הזה ועל יום חג הסוכות הזה, שנתת לנו אדוני אלוהינו לקדושה ולמנוחה, לששון ולשמחה, לכבוד ולתפארת. על הכל אדוני אלוהינו אנחנו מודים לך ומברכים אותך, יתברך שמך בפי כל חי תמיד לעולם ועד. ברוך אתה אדוני מקדש השבת וישראל והזמנים.
Yasher Koach to the both of you. You chanted Torah beautifully and you chanted Haftarah even more beautifully. I'm so proud of both of you, and I want you to take a moment to look out and see all of the people that are here just to celebrate the two of you becoming Bar Mitzvah, young adults in our community. We are all so proud of you. It's an honor to call forward Emma Parrish to open our Ark doors as we return our Sefer Torah to the Ark on page 256. We rise.
Etz Chaim hi lamachazikim ba v'tomechea meushar derachea darchei noam v'chol netivoteha Shalom. Hashivenu Adonai Elecha v'nashuva Chadesh Chadesh Yameinu Chadesh Yameinu
You may be seated. And now Eli has prepared these words, and then Ethan will follow him with the words that they prepared on the occasion of becoming B'nai Mitzvah.
Shabbat Shalom and Chag Sameach.
Shabbat Shalom and Chag Sameach.
Today I had the great honor of reading from the Torah for the first time. My Bar Mitzvah Torah portion is Yimor from the book of Leviticus, which explains a little bit about Shabbat and how to observe it. Shabbat, or the Sabbath, is the seventh day of each week and starts at sundown on Friday night and lasts until sundown on Saturday night. On Shabbat, Jews should do no work because this time is sacred. My Torah portion focuses on the pilgrimage festivals of Passover and Shavuot and how to celebrate them. Jews celebrate Passover starting at sundown on the 15th of the Hebrew month of Nisan, which is usually late during the month of March or April, according to the Western calendar. God commanded us to celebrate the Feast of Unleavened Bread for 7 days and to make offerings by fire to the Eternal. While we aren't required to make offerings by fire today, Jews around the world, including my family and I, celebrate Passover by having a Passover Seder in their home, beginning on the first night of the holiday. The Hebrew word Seder translates to the English word order. During the Seder, we follow the same order every year. We ask the 4 questions, sing familiar songs, say familiar prayers, and display a plate that contains symbolic foods. There is haroset, which represents the mortar the Israelites used to build the pyramids when they were slaves in Egypt. A roasted bone represents the Passover sacrifice by fire. An egg that represents spring and the circle of life. Maror, a bitter herb, represents the bitterness of slavery. Last but not least, there's the karpis, or parsley, which we dip in salt water to represent the tears our ancestors cried when they were slaves. On our Passover table, there is also matzah, or unleavened bread, the type of bread the Israelites ate when they fled Egypt. There are 2 things I love about my family's Passover Seder. One is singing Dayenu, which means it would have been enough. Singing Dayenu is acknowledging all that God did for the Israelites and saying it would have been enough if God did one of those things, but then He did all the things He did for us. I love singing it because it's a very fun and high-energy song. Another tradition I really love about our family's Seder is racing my brother and cousins to find the afikomen, which is a small piece of broken matzah my dad or grandpa hides. No matter what, we all get a small prize. To me, celebrating Passover is something I look forward to every year, and I really enjoy making memories that will last a lifetime. To me, becoming a bar mitzvah means I am taking a step forward into my Jewish adulthood and taking on more responsibilities in many areas of my life. One of these responsibilities is noticing when people are in need and doing what I can to help them. Another responsibility is practicing the idea of tikkun olam, which is a Hebrew phrase which means repair the world, such as picking up trash lying on the ground and putting it in a garbage can. One big goal I have is becoming even more responsible for studying for tests and completing my homework on time. For our mitzvah project, Ethan and I have chosen to donate sports equipment to people in need and also donate time over the next few months by volunteering with the Big Brothers Big Sisters organization of Milwaukee. I'm really looking forward to this opportunity to help kids who aren't lucky enough to have an older sibling in their life like I do, so that they have someone that they can learn from and look up to. There are many people here today that I would like to thank who have helped me on this journey to becoming a bar mitzvah. I'm really lucky to have 6 wonderful grandparents here with me today who love and care for me a lot. Thank you, Grandma and Grandpa Holtz, Grammy and Papa Ray, and Nana and Papa Ram. You guys always love spending time with me. I love celebrating holidays and doing special things with each of you. Thank you for always being there for me. I really appreciate it and love all you guys so much. I would like to thank my brother Noah for always cheering me up when I need it. Sure, there have been times when we have fought a lot, but whenever I feel down, you are always there for me. I love you so much and appreciate having you as my brother. I would like to thank my mom, who always cares about me and always believes in me. Whenever I need help on my homework, you are my go-to person. Thank you for always driving me to my soccer and baseball practices and cheering for my teams. I really appreciate all the hours you have put into planning this special day for me and Ethan. You are always there for me and always listen to what I have to say. I love you so much. Next, I would like to thank my dad, who is not only a great dad, but also an awesome coach, for coaching my basketball teams to almost every baseball team I've ever played on. You are always there to help not only me, but also my teammates develop as players and believe in ourselves. Even if we are feeling down, I have so many great memories about playing sports, and you are part of most of these memories. Thank you for always being there for me. I love you a lot, Dad. I would like to thank Rabbi Noah, Rabbi Pazlowski, Sam Berman, Miss Green, Brian Avner, and all of my Hebrew and Sunday school teachers for helping me along the way to become a bar mitzvah. But a really special shout out to Cantor Perper. Cantor, thank you for meeting with me every week and being so patient and encouraging while teaching me how to chant my Torah portion and Haftorah. I'm lucky to have had you as my teacher. Thank you for bringing music into my Jewish education. Next, I would like to thank my friends. With us today are friends from Camp Interlaken, my Glendale Knights and Little League teams, new friends from the Whitefish Bay mountain biking team, as well as friends I've known since I was in preschool. Finally, I'd like to thank Ethan. I'm so grateful to not only be able to call you my cousin, but also one of my closest friends. From celebrating holidays together, to going on vacations together, to playing on baseball teams together, so many of the best memories I have are of us together. There isn't anyone else that I would have wanted to share today with. I've worked really hard to prepare for this day and appreciate each of you being here to support me. Thank you, and Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom. Yasher Koach. Come on.
Now I'd like to call forward Brent and Kelly and Noah to share words of love for their son and their brother.
Hello? This one? Either one. All right. Okay. One Thursday afternoon, I was at Ganami, probably playing with Hot Wheels cars or whatever I was interested in as a 3.5-year-old boy. When I saw Grammy walk into my classroom to pick me up, she told me that my new baby brother had just been born and that she was going to take me to the hospital to meet him for the first time. I was confused and frustrated that I was being taken away from the toys, but I also felt a rush of excitement and joy as we packed up my things to leave the JCC. I remember staring out the window of the car as we drove down the highway. We arrived to the hospital, and when I entered the room, I looked around and saw all of my family crowded in that tiny little hospital room. And in the center of it was a bed with my mom carrying a little baby in her arms. That little adorable thing was you. And from that moment, I knew that my life was never going to be the same. Later, throughout the years, there were so many great memories that we shared. In my room, there's a picture of you as a baby laying on my bed, and me right beside you, giving you the toy car Flo from the movie Cars. On vacations, I always remember swimming in the hotel pools where Dad would throw a football to us and we would jump in to catch it. I also really appreciated it when Mom would take us to Glaze to decorate pottery. Once I painted 2 race cars, one for each of us, which is still on our mantle above our fireplace today. Like the good memories, there were also some of the not-so-good memories. For what felt like forever, I would hear my alarm clock going off at 6 a.m. in the morning. I would wake up to, Mommy, Mommy, every single morning. Now, of course, I didn't actually have an alarm clock. I just had an annoying little brother who was too scared to get out of the bed in the morning without the assistance of our mother. Although you have a very cute rear end, I didn't quite enjoy the daily flaunting and dances of your little naked butt in front of our entire family whenever you got out of the shower. Kinda gross. Fortunately for me, I got my fair share of fun messing with you. Like at your first birthday party, when I took your face and shoved it straight into your Elmo-themed birthday cake. Mom was not too proud of me, but Dad and I got a good laugh from that, so it was all good. Well, congratulations, bro. You did it. Still have a long ways ahead of you, but you've officially taken your first steps into your Jewish adulthood. Hopefully,
hopefully, you utilize these lessons upon which you have learned in your life to live a successful life with an amazing job, instead of pursuing a career as a male stripper, which Dad and I still think you were going to do. But even if that's what you do for a living, I would still be proud of you, as I am right now. I love you.
Let me just say, nobody was able to review his speech before he gave it.
Not really sure how I follow that one. Today is a day that our entire family has been looking forward to for a very long time, and it means so much to me that so many of you are here today, our family and friends, to celebrate with us as Eli and Ethan, who are not only cousins but also true friends, share this special moment in their lives in this beautiful sanctuary where our families have celebrated so many joyous occasions. Both of you, Ethan and Eli, have spent months and, in fact, years working to prepare for this day, and you are both amazing, and I'm so proud of both of you. Eli, just over 13 years ago, all 9.5 pounds of you came into this world and completed our family of 4. You were a beautiful baby. You had huge eyes, the longest eyelashes, and a smile that lit up whatever room you were in. We were all so in love with you. Although I would describe you as a cautious person, I am always so impressed when your bravery shines through, such as the time when you taught yourself how to swim when you were less than 3 years old by just jumping in the pool. On the baseball field, you are very much at home on the pitcher's mound. There have been many games where you've played in and pitched, and where the timing of those last 2 outs meant the difference between a critical win or loss for the whole season. Watching you, my heart pounds, but you always look so calm, cool, collected, determined. Seemingly overnight, but really over the past year or so, I have seen so many changes in you. You're no longer our little boy. The Eli who stands before us today is a young man who is kind, funny, smart, and confident. I agree with the person who once said that it's the responsibility of a parent to give their child 2 gifts, roots and wings. What having given you your roots means to me is that you do know the difference between right and wrong, and you always strive to do what is right. It means that you realize that there's diversity within humanity, and you know how to respect people's differences. It means that you realize the value of being part of a community such as the one we have here at Congregation Shalom. What giving you your wings means to me is preparing you for your future. I asked Cantor Perper to personalize today's service by singing Debbie Friedman's song, Lechi Lach. This song not only has a beautiful melody, but the words in the song hold special meaning on a day like today. Lechi Lach means to go forth. The first verse is Lechi Lach, to a land that God will show you. And the second verse is Lech Lecha, which means to go forth by yourself. Although in a way, becoming bar mitzvah today may feel like at the ending of an aspect of your Jewish education, it's actually the beginning of your Jewish adulthood. The good news is that you won't actually be going forth alone, because you'll always have the love and support of your family and friends. May you always remember this day and how proud we all are of you. May you always feel a strong sense of pride in your Jewish identity. May you always carry the feeling of confidence you have in yourself today for taking these steps forward into the next phase of your journey. I love you more than you will ever know, and I am so excited to see what your future holds. In good health and happiness. Lechi Lach.
Eli Matthew Arnold. What can I say about you? You've been my little buddy for so many amazing years. From the day you took your first steps, we were always kicking a soccer ball together in the backyard, or playing catch, or swimming together, or going on trips, and even sometimes wrestling with each other. You were always poised to do whatever your older brother Noah was doing, and worked really hard to compete with him. Yes, the 2 of you did wrestle, but it was always a playful fight, like 2 little puppies just wanting to have a little competitive good time. Unlike most kids, your fights consisted of laughter while you guys were in a headlock, and always ended with smiles on both of your faces. One of my greatest life achievements was being able to coach you and all of your teammates in your sports. From the early days in soccer, which I knew absolutely nothing about, to some really fun rec basketball games, and then to Little League Baseball. Having a front row seat to watching you grow as an athlete, as a teammate, and as a human being was one of the best parts of being your dad. Your determination to improve and your will to work is absolutely remarkable. I first recognized this right after a Pee Wee baseball game when you were determined to go right back into that batting cage and have me pitch another 100 balls to you until it started to get dark. We would go to the JCC and you would grab a basketball off the rack and just keep shooting over and over and keep working on your shot. When I would pick you up from soccer, I would have to beg you to get off the field to go home because you just wanted to keep practicing with all of your friends out there. But the thing that has impressed me the most is your leadership and confidence on the pitching mound in some huge pressure situations. Yes, there were times where you looked completely stressed out and on the verge of totally falling apart. But you dug deep within yourself and always found the right pitches while believing in all your teammates to get the necessary outs. You did it with poise, patience, and confidence. We were both lucky to win 3 Little League championships together along the way with some great teams and some amazing comeback wins. But what was always most important to me is how genuinely nice and supportive you were with all of your teammates. There were so many lifelong lessons from sports that I hope you are able to take with you for the rest of your life. Mountain biking is the new challenge for Eli Arnold. One day, about 3 months ago, you came home out of nowhere and said to your mother, "Mom, I need you to sign me up for the mountain biking team. My friends are all doing it, and the sign-up deadline is today." In those short few months, you have committed yourself to every practice, getting stronger as a rider, and learning what it takes to be a racer. Last weekend, you finished your first race, but more importantly, you found a great group of friends that hopefully will last you for a lifetime. Lots of them were supposed to be at a race this weekend up at Nordic Mountain, but instead, they chose to be here with you today to celebrate your bar mitzvah. I can tell you that that is a sign of true friendship. Eli, friends will come and go throughout your life, but it is the precious few that you should hold on to and stick to them like glue. Ethan, you also did an amazing job today, and we are so proud of you. Eli is so lucky to have you as his cousin. At a very young age, you both developed a true love for each other and definitely were not afraid of finding trouble together. Growing up, you both had your separate schools, your separate teams, and separate friends. But when you are together, it's as if you know and feel everything about each other. The bond that our two families have is amazing and unbreakable. I wouldn't want to share this day with anyone else in the whole world but you guys. We have all been there for each other through the best of times and the worst of times. Life at times throws you a curveball. And as we go into life, as we go on in life, I know this shared mitzvah will only make our families stronger. Besides, Emma is the best daughter that I have never got to have. Kelly, this B'nai Mitzvah absolutely wouldn't be happening at all this weekend if it weren't for you. Your project management skills are far superior than any of ours. Your lists are more complete, your plans are more thought out, and your follow-up skills are way better. Your stress level can hit the ceiling, and despite me having 2 out-of-town work trips this past 2 weeks, you held it all together and planned an amazing event for all of us this weekend. Noah, Eli, and I are lucky to have you in our lives. You might not always be on time, but you teach our kids incredible school study skills and a work ethic that will do wonders for them in their bright futures ahead. And lastly, Eli, I want you to once again just take a moment and pause. Take a look out at everybody in this room. All of them. Look up. They are all here because they love you, they support you, and they want to be a part of your life. We love you so much and are all so proud of everything that you have accomplished. Keep that smile and that amazing soul of yours. As you did for your bar mitzvah, when you work hard at anything in life, you will find success in whatever you choose to do. I love you so much and look forward to celebrating with you tonight. Mazel tov, buddy.
Now Ethan has prepared these words on the occasion of his becoming a bar mitzvah.
Shabbat Shalom and Chag Sameach, everyone. My Torah portion is a special one for Sukkot. It is called a More from the book of Leviticus. In my Torah portion, the Israelites got liberated from Egypt. Then the Eternal One speaks with Moses about a set of rules. The Eternal One says, "You shall not do any work on the first and last day of this holiday." Then the Eternal One says, "You shall live in booths for 7 days in the desert. In these booths you shall celebrate the liberation with your friends and family, as well as looking at the stars at night and the sun during the day." Moses declares this the set times of the Eternal. What I found interesting about my Torah portion is that the event and its memories have lasted so many years. I think we celebrate this holiday to rejoice in the memories and the excitement that the Israelites shared 3,000 years ago. The moment of living in the booths and not working for 2 days lasted 7 days, but the memories they shared with one another and their feelings in their hearts lasted a lifetime. I found this relates to me because I have played baseball all my life. The singular memories of me making a good play in the field or getting a good hit at the plate still stays with me to this day. In baseball, I have played in many tournaments and games throughout the years, but there were special moments in each and every one. For example, when we beat Whitefish Bay in postseason, and when we got a walk-off against Elmbrook to go to the district finals. But there were also bad memories in baseball, like when we lose a tough game or when we lose a tournament to a team we should have beaten. Overall, my Torah portion relates to me through the sport of baseball and how small moments are meant to last a long lifetime. What it means to become a bar mitzvah is taking a bigger role in the Jewish community, making good decisions, and showing more responsibility for my Jewish education. I've enjoyed learning Hebrew and being able to read from the Torah. For my mitzvah project, Eli and I have been collecting new and gently used sports equipment for underprivileged kids. My mitzvah project will give kids an opportunity to play a sport they love. We are donating all the equipment you see in front of us and volunteering for the Big Brothers, Big Sisters of Milwaukee. Sports have played such an important role in my life, and we are hopeful to give the same opportunity to some deserving kids. On October 6, 1942, a week from today, marks the 81st year that my family from Schmelnick was gathered at the town square. It was on this day that they were transported to Treblinka. Today we take a moment to recognize Lavi Berlin. Lavi was 13 years old when he passed away in the Holocaust. Unfortunately, Lavi was unable to have a bar mitzvah, and that is why I'm sharing my bar mitzvah with him today. First of all, I want to thank Rabbi Noah and Rabbi Pazowski, Cantor Perper, and my tutors Sam Berman and Mrs. Green for helping me prepare for my bar mitzvah. I've enjoyed every session and appreciate the time they have spent helping me prepare for today. Cantor Perper, I will deeply miss your audio recordings. I want to take this moment to thank my parents, Mom and Dad. Dad, I have always loved our trips to Door County, in particular racing and beating you at go-karting, even though you're the one with the driver's license. Since I was a toddler, you have coached my Little League teams and T-ball teams. I have to admit, you're an okay coach. Although you do have a good coaching style. I love how you get to give players a chance to play, everyone that wants to play their favorite position. Mom, do you remember the time when we told you we were going out for hibachi and surprised you with a surprise party instead? After the birthday party, I asked you how it was, hoping you were surprised. You said you were very surprised, but you seemed a little bummed that we didn't eat hibachi. So we had to go out for hibachi dinner next night. I love you both very much, and I'm so thankful for your support you have given me throughout my life. You both have been such a wonderful role models for me. I even want to thank my little sister, Emma. I know sometimes we don't always get along, but life would not be the same without you. This summer, when Emma was at overnight camp, it felt nice being an only child, although the house was too quiet without you. I have to admit, I sort of missed you. I also want to thank my grandparents and entire family for their love and support, Nana and Papa Ron. It has always been fun to celebrate holidays together, and Papa Ron has helped me with my golf swing over the years. I had so much fun visiting you in Florida and golfing with your buddies like Dean and Kenny. Grammy and Papa Ray, you are always there to cheer me on from the sidelines, whether it's on the baseball field or the basketball court. I always love our adventures and time spent together. Papa D and Grandma, it is always a good time when we hang out. Without you, I would have never gotten into biking this summer. Thank you to Grandma Shelley for making my tallis I'm wearing today. I think it turned out pretty cool. Next and finally, this day would not be complete without my cousin Eli. You did a great job today. I have known you my entire life. For those who don't know Eli, he was born 10 weeks before me. We have been pretty inseparable from the time that I was born. I remember during the pandemic, we used to have back-to-back sleepovers every week. We spent hours playing Xbox and somehow never got bored with each other, or the Xbox. From video games to playing baseball, going to Minikani together, or going on a fun family vacation, we have spent endless time together, and I am always happy to have you by my side, especially in preparing for a bar mitzvah. Thank you for always being my bro. Shabbat Shalom and Chag Sameach.
Yesher Koach. And now it's a joy to call upon Jessica and Greg and Emma, if you'd like to come up also, as I know you've all prepared words of love for Ethan. Oh, your speech is ended. Okay, well, come stand with your mom and dad.
Chag Sameach, Shabbat Shalom, everybody. I want to thank you all for being here and celebrating in this important milestone in Ethan and Eli's life. You both did amazing, and we're also very proud of you, both. A very heartfelt thank you to Cantor Perper, Rabbi Noah, Rabbi Puslowski, Sam Berman, and Mrs. Green. The five of you make quite a team. Cantor, Ethan looked forward to your weekly lessons with your subtle humor and constant encouragement. Because of you, I see many opportunities for Torah reading in his future. We appreciate all the time and effort you all have done in getting these boys ready for today. Ethan, your personality fits exactly how you entered into this world, stubborn and doing things how you see fit. I remember being in labor with you for just under 24 hours. It was long, exhausting, and terrifying at times. Dad and I were overjoyed with your arrival, a happy and healthy baby boy. Like any newborn, you were unsure of this world, and it took you some time to adjust to life outside of the womb. As a toddler, I remember you being obsessed with lawnmowers. You would join Dad with your Fisher-Price lawnmower, blowing bubbles up and down the yard, constantly saying, "Lawnmower, lawnmower." Every day you would be out there wanting to mow our lawn. It was right around this time that you developed a love for baseball. You were so young that you could not even properly pronounce the name and referred to baseball as octoball. Day and night, all you wanted to do was play octoball. From early on, you tended to have endless amounts of energy, far more than what we were accustomed to. And so you became involved in sports, lots of sports. From soccer and baseball to basketball, you still have a love for games, being with others, and having a competitive nature.
It was through sports that you have been blessed to make lifelong friendships. When you turned 3, our little family expanded with the birth of our daughter, Emma. I'm pretty sure from the beginning you were not so thrilled with the idea of having a sibling, especially the fact that she was a girl. You wanted someone to play baseball with, and well, she was not cutting it. Although over the years you have grown close with a mutual respect for one another, while Emma spends most of her spring and summer supporting you and your baseball team, you show up at her dance competitions and recitals being supportive, even amongst the rough and rowdy dance mom crowd. Ethan, you have a love for biking, video games, sports, family, being with your friends. You are smart and have a knack for talking your way out of things to your advantage. School is important to you, and you have worked hard putting in the extra effort over the years. If only math could come as easily for me. We're so proud of you today as you enter this new path for you to determine your Jewish identity. We have given you the tools as Jewish traditions are passed on from one generation to the next. Braiding challah on Shabbat and enjoying Judy's matzah ball soup, dressing up for Purim, or saying the 4 questions during a Passover Seder. Its characteristics like compassion, justice, and tikkun olam, the idea that we are responsible for repairing the world. One of the greatest gifts is for me to be your mom and the opportunity to witness the young man that you are today.
Boker Tov. Thank you, I've always wanted to do that. Well, since Ethan roasted me, I didn't know he was going to say some of those kind words. I guess I get to say some things. Well, today is Saturday. You know what that means. Farmer's market, baby. This day is so important to him that he skipped his morning egg roll. So I'm glad we're here today. I also want to thank Brent and Kelly, Noah, and Eli. Your speeches were wonderful and you really moved me. I really can't have done this. I wouldn't want to do it any different than we did. And Kelly, one day you can teach me how to do an Excel sheet. I've never seen anything. Bye. All right. Now, I know everybody's hungry because I'm hungry, so I cut this speech down to like 5 minutes. So let's do this. All right. Good morning. It's wonderful being all around you who've been part of Ethan's life. He's fortunate to have so many caring and loving grandparents, cousins, sister, aunt, uncles, friends, and especially your mother and I who are here today. I want to thank Rabbi Noah, Rabbi Pizlowski, Tutor Sam Berman, Miss Green, Cantor Perper, all of his Hebrew teachers, and anybody else who's helped him to where we are today. Your encouragement and support helped build his confidence and developed a real interest in learning Hebrew. I have to say, Ethan and Eli did an incredible job. For those from Ethan's baseball teams, you may have heard me yell, Qdoba. This chant always appeared to give him a slight boost at the plate, so I told him we're having Qdoba for dinner, which I assume played a part in his excellent job reading the Torah. Eli, you did a fantastic job too. Although I was told he doesn't like it, but he gets some good hits, so I may keep doing it. Now, Ethan and Eli have known each other from birth, about a 2-month age difference. Don't worry, Emma. Ethan loves you very much, but Eli has been the brother he never had. They began growing close, attending early childhood education and spending weekends together. I was worried what would happen once they transitioned into different schools because they had immediately became very close. Fortunately, they've continued to have a strong relationship, and I'm grateful that Eli has been part of Ethan's life for the past 13 years. I'm confident that they'll stay close. Ethan, I was overly excited to find out you were going to become part of our family. I remember I literally jumped up and down eager for your arrival. Since the beginning, you've brought a tremendous amount of joy being your parents and watching you become the fine young man you're becoming. It's been amazing watching you progressively develop personal growth, independence, building skills, using your strengths, and embracing your personality. We suspect that these parts of yourself will take you far distances, and I'd like to share a few present examples. Now in this speech, it's kind of abstract, so you guys kind of have to think, all right? But over this past summer, you've demonstrated greater individuality and responsibility. Using your bike has allowed you to move beyond the neighborhood and strengthen connections with friends. Similar to biking, life requires confidence in having a sense of direction, balance, and actively pursuing new experiences. You've also faced fears like upside-down roller coasters, and most recently going on some crazy slingshot attraction at the state fair. It was hard for me to watch, but became quite impressed with your willingness to take risks. I only can imagine that courage, bravery, and willing to take risks will assist you in your future endeavors ahead. I'd also like to talk a little bit about baseball. As many of you know, has been a major part of Ethan's life. It began when I changed his date of birth to make him eligible for T-ball a year early. Don't worry, guys, it was the Whitefish Bay team, so I shouldn't be in trouble. So this is from a school paper he wrote last year about his first time hitting a baseball on a field. Ethan states, quote, "When I picked it, being the bat, I soon dropped it. This time my dad helped me pick it up, and this time I could hold it. I felt stronger," end quote. He also mentions after his first attempt swinging did not go as he probably envisioned. He writes, "I paused and I dropped the bat in sadness. Disappointingly, I felt like giving up. At that moment, my dad encouraged me to try again and again and again. With greater confidence and support, his swing made good contact. This is an important lesson in that you should never give up, use your support system, and believe in yourself. Baseball requires a lot of skills, respect, patience, good judgment, quick decision-making, and learning how to be a good teammate. It's necessary to be able to adapt to unexpected game situations and accept things out of a player's control. Baseball requires players to put their best effort and ongoing practice to achieve their potential. At the same time, we need to learn from mistakes, move beyond past errors, and a willingness to embrace constructive criticism. Among other things, teams provide a sense of commitment to something greater than oneself and the opportunities to support others. These principles reflect what you'll need outside of the baseball field fence. In life, you'll have to face unexpected challenges, struggles, and surprises. This March, in anticipation of last season, a curveball was thrown at you when you fractured your elbow pitching. Or, should I say, you tried throwing a fastball, fracturing your elbow. You had to tolerate pain, work through hardships, getting back into form, and patience in your recovery. In all, your involvement in baseball has and will be helping you grow and contribute to your success in life. It's about respect, learning from mistakes, listening to others, putting in everything you got, acceptance, and again, look beyond something greater than yourself. We're so proud of what you've accomplished so far, and we're confident that you have lots more to achieve moving forward. We love you, and we'll always be there for you. You're always in our hearts and minds, and we'll continue to enjoy watching you grow and being the person you are. Mazel tov.
Okay. Yesher koach is what we say when we do something good. So I want to practice that with you. Yesher koach. Very good. That's wonderful. So whenever something really wonderful happens in our sanctuary, those are the words that we say. So let's say Yesher koach one more time and stop clapping. And so we are now going to turn to words that have been on the lips of parents for generations in moments such as these, moments in which we are blessed to see such extraordinary things. So I'd like to invite Jessica and to invite Kelly, to invite Brent, to invite Greg to rise now, to invite Ethan and Eli to stand as well, Noah and Emma, if you would rise, and all of the grandparents who are here, aunts and uncles and cousins, if you would stand as well, and all of the family that are here, and all the friends who are like family as well, if you would stand, and all of our community who are here celebrating Sukkot with us, if you would stand as well, as we are going to recite the Shechianu.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam שהחיינו וקיימנו והגיענו בזמן הזה.
You may be seated. Blessed are you, eternal our God, ruler of the universe, who has given us life, who has sustained us, who has brought us to this very special moment today. Eli and Ethan, the two of you have been amazing this morning, and you should be very proud of yourselves, just as proud as everyone else who's here, family and friends and community, all who love and adore you. You also have a very special Torah portion this morning for the festival of Sukkot, and in it we learn about the Shalosh Regalim, the 3 pilgrimage festivals. Imagine what it must have been like for those pilgrims. Families embarking on treks from distant villages and towns and cities converging towards Jerusalem. The air filled with excitement, anticipation, and the sounds of families singing psalms as they approached the holy city. And upon arriving, the scent of fresh offerings, the vibrancy of markets selling special wares, and the echoing of the Levite songs from the temple would greet them. This wasn't just a journey of feet, but of the heart and spirit. The streets of Jerusalem would have been alive with reunions and embraces, shared meals and teachings under the open sky. And amidst this, families, much like yours, would come to reconnect with their heritage, express gratitude, and reinforce the bonds of community and faith. These journeys weren't just mandated trips, but profound expressions of commitment, faith, and community. And they embodied the essence of being part of something greater than oneself and the joy of communal celebration. These pilgrimages were journeys of introspection, of gratitude, and of forging lasting memories and connections. And Eli and Ethan, your journey today, while different in form, resonates with the same spirit of those ancient pilgrimages. Today, you not only journey into Jewish adulthood, but also you weave your unique threads into the vast tapestry of our tradition. And as we celebrate Sukkot, a festival of joy, unity, and reflection, we also celebrate the two of you and your incredible journey so far. So let's talk about the ways that you weave yourself into our tradition. Eli, I think it's amazing that you love coding. Now, my understanding is limited, but I believe that a coder constructs programs layer by layer to achieve a functioning system. And our Jewish sages over the millennia have delved deep, constructing our traditions and debates and teachings. And as you continue to grow and evolve, integrating both the modern world and tradition, I can envision you shaping not just the world of technology, but also being a pillar in our community, like your parents, always eager to understand, dissect, and implement the teachings of the Torah in new ways. And Ethan, you share, in a way, that love of maths and sciences, but your parents laughed about your potential as a lawyer, noting your negotiating skills. And our people have always been proud of the leaders who can bridge differences and find common ground, much like our patriarchs and matriarchs. It's meaningful that you want to ensure that all children have the chance to enjoy sports through your tzedakah project. Our ancestors sought to ensure all community members had their needs met, and yours and Eli's passion for baseball and basketball and friendship also speaks volumes about your sense of teamwork and community, values deeply embedded in your family. Both of you have shown immense dedication, not just in preparing for today, but how you've shown that you understand that living is giving. And your tzedakah projects, collecting sports equipment for the less fortunate, showcase that beyond the rituals and teachings, you both have integrated the essence of Jewish values, kindness, generosity, and ensuring that the joys you experience are shared by others. And as we stand here today witnessing you become B'nai Mitzvah, we can be assured that the torch of our tradition and values is passing into safe hands. Because one of the greatest lessons of the pilgrimage festivals is that it isn't simply enough to talk the talk. You need to walk the walk. And I'm not surprised that you walk the walk, because you have some pretty wonderful examples in your family. Greg and Jessica walk beside you on your journey, and you can learn so much from them. And before our ceremony even began, we met in our study and we looked into the books of life that we have here at Congregation Shalom. And it was so meaningful to find again and again your mom's name in those books. Moments where the life of the community touched hers, and moments where her life has touched our community. And Greg is one of our leaders in our community, a member of our board of directors, and he was instrumental in our reopening committee through and after the darkest days of the COVID crisis. He's always been a deep thinking and wrestler with tradition, with an inspiring way of analyzing the ways of the world. And Kelly and Brent were among my first friends in Milwaukee and continue to be. Kelly has always been so committed to providing you, Eli, with every opportunity here at Shalom and beyond. If there was a program that involved the kids, your mom would be there by your side. She's encouraging and thoughtful and tremendously kind. And she deeply embodies and exemplifies the best values of our tradition. And your dad has one of the finest hearts of anyone I know. That's why it's meaningful that you are celebrating your bar mitzvah at the same time as he did all those years ago, because the etrog is a symbol of the heart. And it's big and it's bursting and it's beautiful. And Brent was the president of this congregation at just the right time. It was Bashert, steering us through some of the most challenging moments that Congregation Shalom and our Jewish community has ever seen. All of your parents received these beautiful values from their parents, who are all dear, kind, and thoughtful people. And they received those values from their parents and on in a sacred chain of tradition. And it's notable that both Greg and Brent coached your Little League teams. They weren't just content to sit in the bleachers or on the sidelines. They wanted to shape the future. And I've seen your moms and your dads do it over and over again in so many different facets of life in our community. They're never just content to be passive participants. They're ready and willing to lead. And that's what it means to walk the walk. There's a concept that there is a difference between a tourist and a pilgrim. I don't know if you've ever heard that. The difference is that a tourist walks the streets, but the pilgrim lets the streets walk through them. Ethan and Eli, the path of life is a journey, one that is best lived when you take an active role, when you walk the roads of life and allow the roads of life to walk through you. As each of you stepped into this new phase of your Jewish life, remember the wisdom of our ancestors who ascended to Jerusalem and the path they walked. It's not just about reaching its destination, it's about how you engage in every step, every encounter, and every experience along the way. And you've just done that today so beautifully. Your roots run deep, drawing from a rich wellspring of ancestors and community leaders and dedicated parents who have shaped and nurtured the traditions and values you hold today. And these roots are your foundation. But your branches, the choices you make, the passions you pursue, and the ways you engage with the world are entirely up to you. Your becoming B'nai Mitzvah is not the end of a journey, but a beautiful beginning. It's a commitment to lifelong learning, personal growth, and active participation in your community and the world at large. And you have an incredible legacy to draw upon. As you move forward, I encourage you to be pilgrims in life, in the truest sense. Engage deeply, ask questions, be present, and let the experience of life not just pass you by, but move through you, shaping and enriching you. Be active participants, drawing from the wisdom of the past, living fully in the present, and shaping a brighter future for us all. I have a hope and a wish for the two of you. Walk the journey of life, accompanied by the people you love. Walk the walk, grab life with both hands, and shape the future. Don't be tourists walking the road of life, rather be pilgrims and let the path of life walk through you. Then we know and we pray that you'll be blessed with everything your heart yearns for and rightfully deserve. For God has brought you to this moment. May God ever keep you in good health, with joy, and with your heart and peace in your souls. Ken Yehi Ratzon. May this be God will. Now I have the privilege of saying words that are just for you and Eli to hear, Ethan and Eli to hear. If you'd like to step forward, as we'll have the opportunity then to bless you.
Yevarechecha Adonai v'yishmerecha.
God bless you and keep you.
Ya'er Adonai panav elecha v'chuneka.
May God's countenance shine upon you and through you and be gracious to you.
Yisa Adonai panav elecha v'yasem lecha shalom.
May God always smile upon you and bless you with God's choices of blessings, the blessing of wholeness, the blessing of shalom, the blessing of peace. Let us say,
Lechi lach to a land that I will show you. Lech lecha to a place you do not know. Lechi lach on your journey I will bless you, and you shall be a blessing. You shall be a blessing. You shall be a blessing. Lechi lach. Lechi lach. And I shall make your name great. Lech lecha. And all shall praise your name. Lechi lach, to the place that I will show you. Lesimchat chayim, lesimchat chayim, lesimchat chayim, lechi lach. And you shall be a blessing. You shall be a blessing. You shall be a blessing, both of you. Lechi lach.
Thank you, Cantor, for that blessing and song. We turn now to page 282, as we now have the honor of calling forward Ayla, Evan, Emma, Abby to step forward as they have the honor of opening our art doors for Elena. Once again, we turn to page 282 and we rise together as a community.
Aleinu leshabeach la'adon hakol, la'ateit gedula le'yotze breshit, shelo asanu kegoye ha'aratzot, velo samanu kemishpechot ha'adama, shelo sam chalkeinu kahem, vegor aleinu kechol hamonam. ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד ושמו אחד.
You may be seated. For Particularly in moments such as these, we think of our dear ones, loved ones who have passed into life eternal. Particularly in our hearts and minds, we think of those dear people for whom we mark the period of Shiva. We think of Carol Weiss and Marilyn Goldstein Lazier. In addition to those names, so too do we think of those for whom we mark the period of Shloshim, the 30-day mourning period. We think of Helen Mottner, Marnie Rabin, Henry Rinsky, and Elaine Stoley. In addition to those names, so too do we mark the yard sites of these dear members of our congregation and our community. We think of Florence Abrams, Gisela Abramson, Herman Acker, Millie Acker, Abraham Atinsky, Sheldon Morton Barnett, Paul Berg, Alter Berger, I.H. Bernstein, James Bookbinder, Gerald Cherniak, Gerald S. Colburn, Abe Corin, Joan Kroom, Sheldon Durzon, Ralph Ernest Evans, Fred Israel, Dorothy Katz, David Klurfeld, Edith Kohler, Eugene Krause, Vera Laszlo, Lottie Lubar, Donald Mandel, Gail Meisner, Dolores Napick, Sidney K. Narad, Wilbert Nias, Zachary Onicle, Nathan F. Pash, Amy Piran, Solomon Plopper, Harry Pollack, Shirley Rabinowitz, Harold Rosenthal, Genevieve Schneider, Prentice K. Shapiro, Sarah Sherman, Victoria Schlensky, Abraham Sigmund, Deborah Renee Solacek, Napier, Goldie Sosoff, Dr. Jack A. Spector, Dr. Wynne Steinsnyder, David Stern, Kenneth S. Strauss, Irvin Troy, Sylvia Cook Weber, Alice Whedon, Bertie Winnick, Ethel Wolfson. And though it is not their yard site, I know that we are thinking of and feel the presence of Randy Matzoff as well as Lauren Arnold, who are still smiling down upon your dear family with the same love and affection that they did in life. We turn now to page 294 in our Siddur, and we rise together as we recite the sacred words of Kaddish Yatom, page 294. Now, as we do, we think of all of our dear ones who passed into life eternal. If there are names that should be added to this list, or names that should be pronounced differently than I did, please do call those names out loud as I look in your direction. We recite these sacred words together. Yitkadal v'yitkadash shmei Rabbah, v'yamad divrach yirutei v'yamlich malchutei, v'chayechon uv'yomechon uv'chayei dechol Beit Yisrael, ba'agala uv'yizman kariv v'yimru amen. Yehei shmei Rabbah mevorach le'olam u'lamei amaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh. V'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shmei dekudesha b'richu le'ela minko birchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechemata da'amiran b'alma v'yimru amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shemaya v'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'yimru amen. Osei shalom b'imromav hu yaseh shalom aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'yimru amen. May the source of peace and peace to all who mourn and comfort to all who are bereaved. And let us say, Amen. You may be seated. It's a joy now to call upon Tony Davison Levenberg, who is a camp director of Camp Interlochen, and a dear friend of the Arnold and Parrish family, would like to present a gift to Eli, who is a camper at Camp Interlochen. And then followed by Matt Honigman, a member of our synagogue's leadership, who will present gifts on behalf of our congregation and our community. And Matt, you can come on up now.
Good morning, everyone. Eli, I'm so proud of you, and I'm so lucky that I get the honor of giving you this gift. I have known you since you were born, and I'm so proud of you today. If we were at camp, your counselors would be up in front of everyone in the Chadar Ochel, and they would be saying something weird to give you an Aziofi. And fortunately or unfortunately for you, today that's me. So Mazel Tov, Aziofi, and I love you. We all love you. This is for you. Thank you.
Well, we have Eli. Could Ethan come up as well? Good morning, Shabbat Shalom. It's my pleasure to present you with mementos of this happy occasion. First, Shalom certificate of your B'nai Mitzvot, a personalized record of this date and event signed by the rabbis and cantor. It will enable you to recall this special moment in your life and reflects our hopes that you will continue to dedicate yourselves, and we know you will, to throughout your life to God, the Jewish people, through worship, study, and deeds of loving kindness. Next is a Kiddush cup, a gift from the women of Shalom. We sincerely hope that you will use this cup in the years to come to welcome the Sabbath and holy days, as is the custom of our people. We're also providing you with a beautiful tzedakah box that we hope you will fill it as often as an expression of our people's quest to give of ourselves, particularly those who are less fortunate. And finally, we're happy to share with you the book, One People, Many Paths, a history of Jewish Milwaukee, written by John Gerda. This book is full of wonderful pictures and important information about the significant role of Jewish people in the development of our community. Along with these gifts, the clergy, the Board of Trustees, and the women of Shalom extend our most sincere congratulations to you, your parents, your brother and sister, grandparents, family, friends on this great occasion. Mazel Tov, Ethan, Eli, your community is with you, and we look forward to watching your continued growth on the path of righteousness. Thank you.
Thank you to Matt. Thank you to Tony. I'm now going to invite Eli and Ethan to go stand over at the S tables, and your families can join you as we turn to our closing hymn for the Shabbat. Cantor, what's the closing hymn for the Shabbat?
We sing, Semen Tov, Mazel Tov, Mazel Tov, Semen Tov, Semen Tov, Mazel Tov, Mazel Tov, Semen Tov, Semen Tov, Mazel Tov, Mazel Tov, Semen Tov, Yehelanu, 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 Olecho Yisrael, Yehelanu, Yehelanu, Olecho Yisrael, Semen Tov, Mazel Tov, Mazel Tov, Semen Tov, Mazel Tov, Mazel Tov, Semen Tov, Semen Tov, Mazel Tov, Mazel Tov, Semen Tov, Yehelanu.
And now, Eli and Ethan, if you would raise the Kiddush cups high. Eli, you can grab one of the smaller ones. Certainly our cups are overflowing with blessings, some more than others. And we invite you all to rise now as we turn to these words of tradition.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, borei peri hagafen.
L'chaim. And now, if you would uncover the challah. Challah is a symbol of community. It's a symbol of friendship. Just as we draw sustenance from the bread, so too do we draw sustenance from each other. Just as the challah is interwoven, braided together, so too are our lives. We lift up the challah and we recite this blessing together.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, hamotzi lechem min haaretz.
Te'avon and Mazel Tov, everyone. Shabbat Shalom.
Mazel Tov.
If you are joining us for the celebration with the Arnold and Parrish family, please join us in Clearfield Hall. If you are here celebrating Sukkot with our community, please join us in the chapel. Mazel Tov, everyone.